Let me first begin by welcoming His Excellency President MUHAMMADU BUHARI once again to the center of excellence, to the state of aquatic splendor, to the heartbeat of a nation. We're extremely delighted to have Your Excellency here with us again. Just about 6 months ago, after your very first visit, to commission a series of landmark projects here in Lagos. We're indeed thankful that you've been here today, and earlier this morning, you have done the same thing to commission landmark projects also in Lagos State. Also, I'm delighted to acknowledge and to welcome to this auspicious occasion a national leader and my own political father, Asiwaju Bola TINUBU, a great ally and a personal friend of Chief Abdulkareem Bisi Akande. Let me also use this at this junction welcome many of our numerous guests who have heeded our invitation to attend this public presentation of the autobiography of our father, a patriot, a mentor, an elder statesman, a detribalized Nigeria, a leader of international note, Chief Abdulkareem Bisi Akande. Indeed, it's a great honor and a very rare privilege for me to serve as the chief host at this public presentation of what I know will soon be a most read book by students of history, politics, as well as those who are keen for general interest in reading. Chief Bisi Akande, fondly known as, to many of us, as Baba Awomo KKK, ably translated as, is the father to youth and to young alike like myself, is one of Nigeria's most selfless politicians and a beacon of democracy and a progressive governance. There are not so many people living or dead that have sacrificed in more than him for democracy that we all enjoy here today. Chief Akande is a man of great respect and veneration, and it is therefore not surprising that the public presentation of his autobiography is being witnessed by notable politicians and progressives, of course including Mr. President himself. This is indeed a testament to his formidable standing among politicians and progressives. Indeed, whenever Baba Akande's name is mentioned, it is in company of words like integrity, courage, principle, honesty, loyalty, generosity, and service. All his life, from the very humble beginning as an apprentice mechanic and a shop clerk in Ilaorangun in the then Western region, up till today, he has lived consistently by those values. You will all agree with me that this man, who has fully paid his dues in politics and in public service, started way back in 1977 in the Constituent Assembly. He further became the secretary in the old Oyo State government under late Chief BOLA, also serving him as deputy governor of the then Oyo State. And then he became elected as the governor of Osun State in the Fourth Republic, and consequently serving as founding chairman of 4 political parties, one of which was a foremost opposition party to defeat a ruling party in Nigerian presidential election. His life and career are remarkable examples to all of us coming behind, a towering signpost and a nationalist who changes us to give our very best in service to the people at all times. Baba Omo KKK is a story that once remembered to all of us in politics should always be about selfless service and not personal benefit or enrichment. Everyone who knows Baba Akande, and even those who do not know him too well, attest that he always stands for truth, no matter the challenge or odds stacked against him, including the threat of impeachment as one time during his tenure as governor of Osun State. His commitment to the welfare of his people as governor of Osun State between 1999 and 2003 is a standard by which his successors will always be measured. Similarly, the standard of his fairness, his equity, his integrity that has set him as a pioneer chairman of the then AD, AC, ACN, and at one point in time, APC, will forever be a benchmark for all coming after him. Today, the All Progressive Congress is one of the most successful political parties on the African continent. When you look around this hall today and observe the breadth and the scope of that party, one cannot but be grateful for the early sacrifices and commitments made by people like Baba Bisi Akande. As a true Democrat committed to the tenets of democracy and participatory governance, it is perhaps very apt that his autobiography is a book deeply rooted in political history, which also functions as a democratic encyclopedia and a political memoir of sorts. It is also an affirmation of deep and genuine love for family and friends, and a compass that will inspire the generation and future generations to embrace the ideals of patriotism, diligent service, selflessness, and prudence. Let me also say that the book being presented today is a very timely offering at this junction in our national life, and it is an evolution of our political practice. To quote from the foreword of this book from our very own Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, it says, "It's a national gift that cannot have come more instructively timed." We're grateful to Baba Akande that has taken the time and effort to document his remarkable story in a most lucid and engaging manner. We thank the Almighty God for the long life and the good health he has blessed Baba Omokeke with. We are confident that he still has many more years with us for us to partake of his deep wisdom and counsel, his fence-mending and build-bridging capacity, as well as his calming and stabilizing influence on the polity. As you can tell, I am an excited chief host here today. And on behalf of all the good people of Lagos, on behalf of all my fellow governors that I've thrown here in large number, on behalf of the teeming array of politicians and heads that have come here today, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has honored our invitation to be here today. And I warmly welcome you to Lagos State, to the Center of Excellence. We're indeed proud and honored to have this public presentation, my participation, with us here today. I want to thank you all very much, and I hope we'll have a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
My governor, Mr. Ajide SANWO-OLU, congratulations on hosting this event, and the Senate President. It's good to have you here. Every now and then, we come across a person so exemplary and excellent that one word seems to fit only. Is a hero. The word hero. Here today, we have a man whose that word fit perfectly. Chief Bisi Akande. All other attributes, I'll come back if I have the time later today. But with such a man, our lives are better because of the selflessness, public and private contribution he made to our national family called Nigeria today. Thankfully, he decided to make a written record of the events, ideas, lessons, and his profound life so that it will serve as enlightenment and to educate the present and the future. The remarkable book, My Participations, written by this remarkable man, is being unveiled here today. Thank you, Mr. President, for taking your time off to be here to honor this man. Thank you. Mr. Bisi Akande, Bisi Akande recognized he had essential things to tell us in a straightforward way. And that is what he did in the book. Being a key light in our political ferment, whatever Baba says about his life also doubles as an intimate account of the political story of Nigeria. Bisi Akande represents what a public figure in Nigeria ought to be. He is what many should aspire to be. From humble beginning, he rose through hard work, intellect, courage, perseverance, sacrifice, dedication, and what we call self-discipline and self-tuition. He did not walk the easy way. He earned things the hard way and principled way. Nothing deterred him. Though easygoing in demeanor, he was always strong of character. Without seeing the four walls of any university, Chief Akande tutored himself and became a qualified accountant at the age of 22. People saw him the rare combination of gift, fairness, tolerance, and vision. Because of this, he was chosen as the chairman of the AD, Alliance for Democracy, Action Congress, AC, and ACN. And as a crowning achievement regarding to party leadership, he became the interim chairman of APC. You've heard that. Helping to shepherd the historic merger of several major parties into one. Without Chief Bisi Akande's guidance, that merger might have never come to pass. We owe him deep gratitude for a singular devotion to consummating the complicated merger in a positive manner that even candidate General MUHAMMADU BUHARI, the candidate then, General MUHAMMADU BUHARI, was able to demonstrate his popularity by achieving a monumental victory in 2015. The connection I share with Chief Bisi Akande is long-standing and broad. We have been fellow travelers in the struggle for democracy and progressive governance. We also shared similar background in accounting and finance. We both honed our accounting skill in oil companies. Chief Bisi Akande in British Petroleum, I myself in ExxonMobil, before our foray into politics. The book, My Participations, is a razor-sharp, apart from giving valuable insight into making of Nigeria, it provides a view of our political intricacies through the gifted lens of one of the foremost public figures. A constant theme in the book is unwavering devotion to the late sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. On page 17 of this 534-page memoir, Baba Bisi writes, "It was not surprising that I was growing up and becoming more knowledgeable and becoming totally indoctrinated and began to study everything about Awolowo and his action group. I read all his books, and I vowed to emulate him in self-discipline, fearlessness, dignity, courage, and patriotism. After his first encounter with the sage, the young Akande felt further inspired, pointing out again in the book that Awolowo can be rated indeed as one of the greatest intellectuals in the politics of his time. Among important issues highlighted in this book is the historic merger. Writing on page 445, Chief Akande gave background to the alliance. He wrote, in the new year of 2013, BOLA TINUBU began to engage me consistently on the need for the Yoruba in the Southwest to work politically together with the Hausas and Fulani of the Northwest. He suggested and encouraged me that we both visit MUHAMMADU BUHARI in Kaduna. It was my first time of meeting Buhari in his home, and I was attracted to his personal value and austere life. Chief Akande writes frankly. He does not sugarcoat or obscure. He says what he sees. Some people wish this book never see the light of day because they receive the word of his sharp pen for their negative roles in the key events. Given this kind of nature, however, there are many others who want his administration, admiration, and author amid gallantry cubed. Indeed, Professor Wole Soyinka, the forward declares, this is one of historic reckoning that will make many uncomfortable. Many will be reminded of roles played by them, which they would rather the nation, indeed the world, should forget. The book truly affirmed that Chief Akande places high premium on integrity and truthfulness. It will not be otherwise, indeed. Many say President Buhari and Chief Bisi Akande are two of a kind, honest, resolute, patriotic, and committed to their beliefs. I concur with the comparison. We thank Baba for sharing the richness of his experiences and hope that this book will enhance the national political discourse and the democratic journey born of that discourse. We thank President Buhari for taking time once again from his unrelenting schedule to be here today. It shows the mutual affinity the President and Chief Bisi Akande share. I thank you all for attending and listening to me. Thank you very much. May God bless you, Nigeria.
I want to thank my host governor, BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU, in hosting us. You've done a wonderful job. We admire you. We love you. You are showing us you are young and that you are capable of doing big things. Thank you very much. My friend and brother, àbúrò mi, BOLA TINUBU, thank you for being there all the time. Through the Senate President, I respect all the senators and I thank you all for coming to this ceremony. And through the chairman of the Governors Forum, I thank all the governors that are hereby present and those of them that are sent to me while they are not here. You are all great and I respect you all. Thank you very much. My chairman, the chairman of this occasion, very grateful that you come. Thank you very much. Kábíyèsí, our father, the Arole Odua, the Ooni of Ife. Through you, I greet all the traditional rulers that are here, and I'm grateful for your coming, and I thank you indeed for respecting this occasion. May you live long. The person I should first greet is the chief presenter, who is the owner of today. He's presenting the book, My Participations, the autobiography of Chief Bisi Akande, who we always call Baba Mi. KASHIM, thank you very much for coming here. You have always been there, and I'm happy to see you in sitting. You are welcome, and I thank you for coming. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the olden days, I will burst to tears. My lorry may woo, but today I'm very happy. I'm happy to welcome you. I'm grateful to you for sparing all the expenses and time to travel all the way all over the country to come and honor me at this occasion. I'm grateful to you. I'm only uncomfortable that each time our president is coming here, he's always in a hurry. He is our president. We love him. He's one of us. We always want him to relax and come and stay with us, be at dinner with us, let our children eat with him, touch his clothes, and let him know that we love him. But his handlers never recognize that he's no longer growing younger. They match him. They think he's still a soldier. They mark him from the naval yard to the Eco Hotel. They are marching him back to Abuja, maybe for another event. And that's the way they will march him throughout today, throughout tomorrow. I thank you for coming, and I pray you, a successful tenure in office. We love you because we love Nigeria. We want Nigeria. And we want Nigeria to be united. We want Nigeria to be peaceful. We want Nigeria to be prosperous. You have a lot of job to do. It's not yours alone. But because you are our leader, we abuse you for everything that is wrong. Even though when we know we are not honest ourselves. We know we are fraudulent. We know we are deceitful. We know we are cheaters. And all the results of all the things we are doing wrong, we blame on you. I don't sympathize with you. You apply for the job, and you have the job. May your tenure be prosperous. May Nigeria be greater in your time. May Nigeria be united. May Nigeria be peaceful. Thank you for coming.
Baba mi, Baba wa, Alhaji, Chief Abdul Karim, Bisi Akande, the man that we are all gathered to celebrate, Ebomi, Oremi, Oloye, Aṣíwájú Bola Ahmed TINUBU. my brother, the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ahmed Lawal. I also recognize the Honorable Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives. I recognize all my brothers, the governors of various states who are physically present here with us this morning. Moki Kabesi, the Arole Odua, Oba Enito, the Oni of Ife, and my friend, the Olowo of Iwo. Let me stand on the already established protocols. I'm sorry, I just need to add one more recognition. I recognize all the ministers here, in particular my elder brother, Dr. Ogbunaya Ono, the chairman of the occasion. Mr. President, sir, I want to mildly protest that Chief Akande did not confide in me that he was doing me the honor of being the chief presenter of this book today. I was away in Saudi performing the Lesser Hajj when I received word to the effect that he had decreed that I'm the chosen one, that I will be here today to present his autobiography. I want to acknowledge that I'm honored. I also want to acknowledge the fact that it did not come entirely to me as a surprise. This is on account of the fact that he had always, at every opportunity that he has had, acknowledged in his words the tireless efforts that I put into the formation of the APC. Beyond that, I am also a very beloved son of Chief Bisi Akande, alongside my siblings, and I'm aware that they're here. Please stand up so that you all be recognized today. Let me start with Bolaji. She's somewhere here in the audience. Tope, she's also somewhere here in the audience. Femi is here with us. Uraula and Biodu. Can you please stand up? Our father has a way of doing things uniquely his way. The very old-fashioned way. It's not that he doesn't love his children. He loves them and he celebrates them, but very, very privately. The President of the Federal Republic graciously offered Chief Akande the opportunity to nominate the Minister of Health of the Federal Republic of Nigeria after we won the elections in the year 2015. And Chief Akande confided in me. For me, the choice is very easy. Two of my siblings, his daughters, one is a medical doctor, the other has a PhD in pharmacy. So who better for him to nominate? More so, I said, Baba, are you going to serve in this government? He said, no. I said, that is the more the reason why you must nominate one of my siblings, your daughters, since the president has offered you this opportunity. And typical him, vintage him. He said, Kashim, you know that I'm not going to do anything like that. I persisted, but it was like pleading to deaf ears. He nominated, he actually searched for. somebody who will fit the bill, someone that is educated, that in his opinion merits the appointment, and he chose the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, Professor Adewale. I've had the privilege of reading the book. But more than this, I've had the privilege of knowing Baba Akande very well, relating to Baba Akande very closely, appreciating the man that is Baba Akande also very well. I know him as a man of honor, as an upright person, as a very contented person. Chief Bisi Akande is a personification of the word integrity. Thank you. He is also an embodiment of selflessness. I can also write volumes about him, but I am just trying to be brief and to say very few words because I'm conscious of the fact that the president is in our midst and he has so many other state commitments. So I'm conscious of that. Baba Akande wrote in his autobiography on page 379 that, and I'll quote him, he said, President Obasanjo was determined by the year 2003 to take over not only Osun, but all the states in the Southwest from the AD. Obasanjo was elected in the year 1999. The whole of Nigeria elected him, except the Southwest. And you see, it's an understatement to say that he was very disappointed, he was very bitter, and he was determined to quote and unquote right what is perceived as the wrong that was done. But what Chief Akande probably didn't know is the fact that he had no qualms taking over 5 of the 6 states. He actually wanted all 6 states, but his conscience kept pricking him. And I heard him on several occasions murmuring to himself, Chief Akande is such an upright person. Chief Akande has performed so well. So he agonized over it. But that did not stop him from also taking over Osun, the only state that survived the Hurricane PDP was the state of Lagos. And I kept warning him that my brother has tremendous capacity for trouble. I would tell him, Baba, don't touch Lagos. If you touch Lagos, my brother will burn everywhere down. At the end of the day, he heeded that advice. When I came into Lagos yesterday, I had dinner with some friends, and somebody commented to me. He wanted to know if Mr. President will be here today. I said yes. He said, just for a book launch. I said, this is not just a book launch. I said, yes, you'll be here. Now, the ties that bind them goes beyond mere friendship. All the attributes that one finds in Chief Bisi Akande is mutually, jointly shared by his bosom friend, President MUHAMMADU BUHARI, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You just mention it, whether it is integrity, selfless service, uprightness, honesty, loyalty. I can go on and on. No adjectives will do the two of them honor. They are very contented people. Both of them are above money. I visited Ila maybe like 3 years ago. I do it very frequently, but that particular visit, it coincided with Christmas and the Muslim festival of Eid al-Kabir. In addition to the normal things that I take with me to Ila, when visiting Ila, I normally raid ShopRite and game, and I buy water and drinks and coffee and you name it. But on this trip, I took some money. Baba Akande opened the bag, and he looked at me. He said, Kashim, what am I going to do with so much money? He said to me, I am an old man. I have very limited needs. The President and Chief Bisi Akande share this honor. Chief Akande was an accountant. He worked in British Petroleum for years. He was elected deputy governor. He was elected governor, national chairman of our party, and I can go on and on. He had every opportunity to enrich himself. He elected not to do so. His friend, the President of the Federal Republic, was my governor, the governor of the Northeast state, now 6 states, Borno Yobe, Bauchi Gombe, Adamawa Taraba. When the Obasanjo sought a credible person to head the critical Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the then Governor Buhari was unanimously the chosen one. He became Minister of Petroleum. He had every opportunity to enrich himself. He became president, first as military president, today as civilian president. He elected not to do so. The two of them are worthy of emulation. Again, I've been advised that the president will be leaving us shortly, and I'm doing the book presentation in the following order. The first copy, I will personally hand it over to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for himself and for all Nigerians. The second copy will be presented to the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic, Chairman of the National Assembly, so that he will buy enough copies for all the 109 senators and 360 members of the House of Representatives. The third copy is to my friend, Governor John Kayode Fayemi, Chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum. He will be coordinating with his governor colleagues of all the 36 states so that they'll buy sufficient quantities, not only for their state executive councils, but also for all the tertiary institutions in their states. Next, I'll give you a copy to my senior brother, the Honorable Dr. Sylvester, the Minister of Science and Technology. He will be buying copies for all the ministers of the Federal Republic. Lastly, I want to announce that in our midst today are the Vice Chancellors, and I saw several of them from universities across the country. Somebody came from Daura, the VC of the State University of Borno State University is here. He came all the way from Maiduguri, yes, and there are several actually. I'll be presenting the books to them for the libraries of all the tertiary institutions, the universities, the polytechnics, and the colleges of education. Finally, and lastly, I'm buying 10 copies for the library of the best secondary school in this country, King's College, Lagos. Even the president approves what I've just said, the best secondary school. I'm buying 10 copies at 1 million naira each. So for the 10 copies, I'll be paying 10 million naira in my capacity as president of King's College All Boys Association. Thank you very much.
Members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers, and the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Ontitled, our host, Chief Bisi Akande, Aswaju Bola Ahmed TINUBU, party chieftains, traditional rulers. This is not the first publication by this distinguished public figure, but this is the authoritative account of his life and times. My being here, therefore, is more than a pleasure. It is a duty. Chief Bisi Akande is, by common consent, a decent, truthful, friendly person. He is a public servant by choice and an administrator of the first order. My first personal contact with Chief Akande was, if I recall correctly, in 2006, when a preliminary consultations were coming to fruition for a grand coalition to unseat the PDP government. Those efforts eventually came to nothing. Neither he nor I nor many of our friends and associates gave up, as in Chief Akande's words, the country was going down and down under PDP, page 396 of my participations. Bisi Akande had risen to prominence from his participation in the Constituent Assembly established by General Olusegun Obasanjo's military government. He was always, excuse me, he was always in the thick of things through the difficulties and political discontinuities of the 1980s and 1990s. He emerged as governor of Osun State in 1999 when the military handed over to the civilians. Chief Akande had a horrendous baptism as governor of Osun State, with discord from his own party. His state assembly, including an attempt to impeach him without any reason whatsoever, from the trade unions and from his own deputy governor. On top of that, he inherited a deeply indebted treasury, huge areas of salary, allowances, and pensions, enough challenges to overwhelm many an aspiring leader. Bisi Akande stood four square and faced all the challenges head-on and overcame most of them. His first action was to stop payment of critical allowances, a euphemism for government money customarily shared by the big boys in Osun State. This set the tone of his administration. Within 1 year, he had paid off all the salary and other areas, proof of a competent and serious administrator. By 2003, Chief Akande had virtually sanitized governance in Osun State, having cleared some of the troublemakers from his government, and though reluctant to serve a second term, he was persuaded to run again in 2003. It is common knowledge that Akande was the victim, along with other AD governors, of a diabolical double cross. Yes, a diabolical double cross, which ended his gubernatorial career. Only the steadfast Asiwaju Bola TINUBU escaped the electoral massacre. Only the steadfast Asiwaju Bola TINUBU escaped the electoral massacre masterminded by President Obasanjo. Desperately disappointed though he was, and being a good Muslim, he accepted this setback as part of the trials of life. He looked to the future of service to the country. Chief Akande was in the thick of further attempts in 2011 and 2014 to fuse together different groups and dislodge PDP from governance. The key to thinking, which coincides with mine, is that Nigeria can only be successfully managed by alliances between major groups. Although we failed in 2011, by persistence and knowledge that PDP was driving the country towards disaster, several major parties were able to finally coalesce into APC in 2014. Chief Akande was unanimously chosen as the first chairman of this great coalition. Throughout the difficult negotiations, I found Akande truthful, steady, and always with an eye to the ultimate goal. In or out of office, he has trained his inflexible integrity. On page 400 of his book, he wrote, and I quote, "I never gave to or demanded bribe from anyone all my life," unquote. A perfect gentleman, a perfect public officer. There is a famous Hausa saying, I quote, "Labarin zuciya a tambayi fuska." Loosely translated, it means, if you want to know what is in a man's heart, watch his face. Akande has a permanent smile on his face. He is the type I will go into the jungle with. This book is a historical document. Students will find this an invaluable source of Nigeria's politics, notably between 1999 and 2020. I recommend this book to students and the general public. Thank you, and may God bless Bisi Akande, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.